I'm going to do a really short screencast for onshaw.net on the second part of long division. I'm not going to go through a big long division kind of thing. I'm just going to briefly show you a method for long division on the interactive whiteboard. Again, this is nothing different to how you'd use a normal whiteboard, it just makes things a bit brighter. We're going to take the example of a child who just likes penguins, and we're going to use the only thing I'm going to do to add to the experience is give a decent background to the whiteboard, which hopefully will motivate the one of the learners, the learner, to do okay with their long division. And as well as that, I'm going to draw a little kind of canvas for it as well, using a rounded rectangle. So here's our rounded rectangle. Now, there we go. So I'm also going to make this rounded rectangle a little bit transparent so you can see some of the penguin's background there, again just to make it slightly bit more motivating for the child. So there's our canvas, and basically all we're going to do is we're going to show you how to do a very simple long division in a more motivating way, let's say, for a child. Now it may not be that motivating, but just as I said, it didn't do anything particularly different to what the child is used to. It just is written in a different way. And if we were going to be dividing a number, let's say the sum itself, we'll just do the sum up here. We'll put it above the penguin just to make it a little bit more motivating yet again for the child. Let's say 735 divided by 25. Just so this is going to have a remainder at the end, and we'll just make the text a little bit smaller, maybe about 28, or we have to highlight it first, sorry, and then we'll make it just a little bit smaller. Okay, that's our sum, and essentially all we have to do after that is we need to it's basically a lot of subtraction. Before we do that, we're using the repeated subtraction method, and what a lot of people do is they take away 25 lots and lots of times, and they count out the number of times they take away 25. For super repeated subtraction, or repeated subtraction on steroids, as I call it, what we do is on the side over here we figure out, we put in our 25, and that's our 1. We also do 50, which is 25 by 2. We do 250, which is multiplying by 10, and we can carry on by doing 500, which is multiplied by 20. Now there's no point, we can do as high as we go, but there's no point, we could go to 2500. There's no point in doing that because that's higher than 735, but there are numbers to help us. And what we start doing is we take away the highest number we can from 735. So we'll start off here at the top. So we have 735, and we're going to take away our first number, which is 500. And what we might do is we might just put this to the side. We're taking away 500, and that's going to leave us with 235, and the child will be able to see that. Now we can't use we can't use 500 the next time. We can only use the 250. We can't use that either, sorry, so we're going to have to use the 50. Just beside that 500, by the way, we'll just put that 20 in brackets so we know what we're doing. So we're going to be able to take away 50, so that's a 2, and that brings us down to 185. And we can take 50 again, and that brings us down to 135, and so on and so forth till we get to 0. And so we're down to the 35 at this point, so the final step is going to be put in place. We're going to take 25 away, and we're going to be left with 10, and there's no more than we can do. So the next stage is adding the things we have in brackets. We know we're going to have a remainder of 10 here for this particular sum, so it's 20 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. Now we don't really need to type anything there, there's nothing hard about that, so what we should find is 20 plus 2, 22, 24, 26, 28, 29, remainder 10. So I presume the answer is 21, remainder 10. If you want to check that out yourself, you can use a calculator. I think we will do that now. so we have our calculator, and what we'll do is we'll do 735 divided by 25. Now it may not give us what we want, it might not give remainders, we'll see what happens. It says 29.4, so we know we've got the 29 right, and 4 out of 25 SI of 0.4. I would imagine 10 over 25 is actually 0.4. Now the child might not know that, but it's a good way to estimate. You can check on the other long division method if you want to, but essentially that's pretty much a way of doing long division using this repeated subtraction or super repeated subtraction using a motivating background. The child may be more happy to use a penguin in the background rather than just having a whiteboard there in the background. So again, very individual to the child's motivations visually. Doesn't do anything particularly amazing on an interactive whiteboard, so it just adds that little aesthetic level as it did before with Lionel Messi in the last video cast.